Suspended BuCor Chief Gerald Bantag, having denied any involvement in the murder of broadcaster Percy Lapid. We have Mabasa family spokesperson, Attorney Berteni Causing, back on Zoom. We've fixed that connection. Hello again, Attorney. Good afternoon. Sir, what was your reaction or the reaction of the Mabasa camp on that interview of Gerald Bantag on SMNI? Of course, he was alleging that DOJ Secretary Remulla had something to do with this and that he does not have anything to do with this.
You know, our reaction when I talk to the Mabasa family is that we are one in the opinion that says that all what happened was just a dragon force of from Bantags, and he is attempting to sway away from the real topic whether he is or not guilty. Mr. Secretary Remulla, who is not relevant in this issue, and all the things that he said, despite the hate and the extreme anger that we can sense with his delivery, it contained nothing. He presented no evidence for all the things that he said, except for one cellular phone showing the video of Mr. Percy Lapid, where he claimed that he asked help or counsel or advice from his fellow within the rank of PNP 96, and he was advised go to the nearest police station. We just look at it as a mere act of avoiding prosecution because evidence are believing in the evidence that has been presented. They are so strong. The statements that was done by Mr. Bantag did not even sway or destroy even a single piece of evidence presented so far by the National Bureau of investigators and the Philippine National Police investigators.
All right, so just to clarify, Attorney Causing, you are not buying Bantag's story or his allegations?
We are not buying it. Number one is it was said in high octane emotion from him, and no person who is highly emotional in speaking is saying the truth and is saying with evidence. All those are product of hatred, just like what he said when he was interviewed by Mr. Anthony Taberna, that tatantarin daw siya ng Pinong-Pino at hindi daw siya pahuli ng buhay at makipaglaban siya sa gobyerno ng ito. Well, all those statements, instead of helping him, we are using that now as evidence against him to prove that he is guilty.
All right. Of course, Gerald Bantag also said that his life is also in danger from the syndicates that are inside the Bilibid prison. He also mentioned that, that SOJ Remulla is actually heading the drug syndicates inside the Bilibid prison. And he also said that DOJ Secretary Remulla asked him to free two of these persons deprived of liberty. What can you make out of all these, new statements from the general?
Well, I will address first his statements with regard to the two PDLs whose names he mentioned. We cannot comment on that precisely because we do not have personal knowledge on what are those, on whether are these relevant, and he did not present to us any evidence of document to show to us what are the substance of those two names as belonging to the Witness Protection Program. Number two, with regard to his allegation that he was so afraid of coming out because he would be a target hit by drug syndicates, well, what he said goes back to him. First, he was taking pride that under his watch, there were no more drug lords inside the bureau's NDP. So he is now saying that there is that drug certificate. So, ano ba talaga, kuya? So, ibig sabihin, it is unbelievable for him to say that he is afraid and he might be a hit list. Then, the next thing is, if there is anybody who is really having that genuine fear, it is the members of the family of Mabasa. And it is not him who has still firepower, although he is already suspended. So it is a lot of emptiness or air in his bursting or fiery words. That's all we can say.
All right. Regarding the preliminary investigation, sir, how is that moving along and what are the latest updates on that?
Well, with regard to the preliminary investigation that was done this morning at 10 a.m., there was only one new thing that happened, which was the submission of sinumpaang tukong salaysay that was submitted by Christopher Bacuto, who is identified to be the supposed second middleman, according to Mr. Joel Escorial. And in his sinumpang salaysay, he totally or absolutely denied everything. The problem with his denial is that he stated in a manner that is general. Lawyers, the statements of denial which are general is equivalent to admission. So particularly we are calling the issue on the statement done by Mr. Escorial that he mentioned these woman to whom he deposited 70,000 pesos intended for Mr. Christopher Bacuto. Now, we also take mention of the fact that Mr. Escorial mentioned about the cellular phone number of Mr. Bacuto, and yet Mr. Bacuto did not make any denial as to the existence or non-existence of the cellular phone of Mr. Christopher Bacuto as claimed by Mr. Joel Escorial. So in all his statements are nothing but general assertion of denial, and this cannot stand in court. So that is our impression of what he submitted a while ago.
All right, and what next steps are you planning to take based on the developments today? What with, of course, the expose of General Bantag and, of course, the preliminary investigation earlier?
Let us take it one by one. With regard to the expose, of course, although we are interested in it, but we do not have any interest in going through it because it is about Secretary and we do not want that the investigation would be those alleged revelations or exposes. Now, with regard to the question on what we will do, we will just wait for the submission by Mr. Bantag of his written counter affidavit. We do not want his statements on press conference or delivered on YouTube or whatever. What we want is his firm statement as signed by him before the prosecutor, because with that, we can now charge him with perjury if he was lying. In this case, when he said it on the media, on YouTube or Facebook, we cannot charge him with perjury. Those statements made on that cannot hold water. Although we can use this against him, but we cannot use that in our favor.
All right. Thank you again so much for taking our call on this Friday afternoon. Attorney Berteni Causing, counsel and spokesperson of the Mabasa family. Thank you, sir, for joining us today.
Thank you. Welcome.